What up racer, it's Jerone here and welcome back to another League Racing video. Today it's time for the 7th round of the AOR season and it's a special one for me since it is around my home Grand Prix, the Dutch Grand Prix around Zandvoort aan Zee. As you can see on the standings, currently in 6th place. Of course aiming to get a good result today to try to move up the standings. Quite a full lobby today, 17 drivers. More than, well, basically the most drivers we've ever had, I think. So that's good to see that a lot of people joined for today's race. As you can see, it will be completely dry. It will most likely be cloudy in the race, but for qualifying it's completely sunny. And of course trying to set the fastest lap possible in qualifying, because overtaking around this place is very difficult, so getting a good qualifying session in is essential for the result of your race basically. So quite a conservative banker lap, 9.1, which put me in 6th place at the time, but I've already lost quite a bit of time, or quite a lot of places, going out for my second lap. And as you can see, this is just incredibly stupid. I wasn't even on the limit with respect to making it with regards to track limits, but I still managed to invalidate it, and it would have been a, well, 8.8, and decided to continue to maybe try to improve my lap time even on warm tires, on hot tires, but as you can see on the bottom right, I would also run out of ERS, so I realized it here and just backed out of the lap. So that means I have it all to do for my final qualifying lap, as I try to burn off a bit of fuel. You leave the pit with about 3.4 laps of fuel, which is of course way too much to do one lap. So just preparing the lap now, trying to get a little bit of heat into the tires, although you also don't want too much heat in the tires, as this track is quite harsh on surface temperatures of the tire. But anyways, going through the banking, opening the DRS, coming into Tarzan turn 1, braking around the billboards that's above the track for the F1 2020 billboard. Took it quite okay, then very fast right-hander, trying to carry as much speed, braking for the awkward banked left-hander, then short shifting to 4th gear to try and get the best traction possible. Going up the gears, we are 1.5 tenths up on our first lap, going through the very fast right-hander, going down to 7th gear, then for the next one go down to 6th gear. Try to use as much of the curb on the outside as possible, didn't really maximize it there to be honest. Then going for the left-hander, ideally I would have liked to stay in 4th gear, but I used 3rd gear to get a bit of extra rotation, minimize the track distance, and braking around the, or just after the 100 meter board, going all over the curb, trying to get the best exit possible here. 4th gear, although that's not ideal, I wanted to use 5th gear, but missed the apex, therefore used 4th gear to get a bit extra rotation, shortest distance to the line, and it is a 1 minute 8.7, which is not ideal to be honest, as I'm currently in 7th place. My PB was a very high 0.4 or low 0.5, so yeah, it was not the ideal qualifying lap, but P7 is still a place we can work from, although it would have of course been ideal to start higher up the order. Regarding the strategy aspect, it's probably soft to hards, although soft to medium is possible, although you get very close to puncture territory on both the soft and the medium compound tire. My ideal pit lap was lap 11, going to the hards, so that's what I was aiming to do. And of course, as always, our weekly rubric, what happened on the formation lap. Well, pasty spun, so that's that. But anyways, the 5 red lights are coming on. Let's try to get a good start to make up some positions, as the start will be very crucial for the rest of our race. Getting quite an okay launch, basically same launch as everyone else. Defending the inside as I want to be on the outside for the carousel corner that's about to come up. You don't want to get pinched on the inside. Maybe Pasty gets stuck and we can profit from it, but unfortunately that is not the case, as we basically maintain our 7th place position for now, following Pasty, who lost the position to Tin Can as I nearly lose it on the curb on the inside. George has a little look down our inside, but thinks better of it, and we're still in 7th place for now. But watch Tin Can on the inside as he tries to make a move on Zach, and unfortunately we get tangled up in the incident because Pasty braked, which I did not expect, which has led George to come through. As now also OJD is trying to have a little look down our outside as we get hit from behind by Ralph, but we do fall down a place to 8th place, and as you can see got a tap from the Red Bull in behind. So that was quite unfortunate. I thought Pasty still had enough space to go around the outside of Ben, but clearly he didn't have that space, and that's why I had to brake, or I think we even made a bit of contact there, and that's how I lost the position. Anyways, defended from OJD down main straight, and from now on it's just basically a DRS train, as OJD is getting quite close. Had a little look, but you really do not want to go, or you want to go single file through that corner. It's very hard to overtake around well, that fast right-hander. So I'm maintaining my 8th place for now, and basically from now until the pit stop phase it will be very hard to make any overtakes. It will most likely be down to strategic errors from the others, as OJD made a mistake on lap 6, which has caused him now to fall outside of the 1 second window. So that means I won't have any pressure from behind for, well, the upcoming few laps, as we skip all the way to lap 11. As you can see, a nice DRS train has formed here and we are on our ideal pit lap, but this is the main disadvantage of having the mini-map not on the full track map. As you can see, Zach is in the Alpha, or yeah, the car on the right, which you can see, and in front of him is Terror in the Haas. So just roll this clip, and I thought Zach had pitted here, but it's not the case. He still continued. So that's of course not ideal, because you can't pit the same lap as your teammate. So now lap 12 Zach does decide to come in, which means I essentially have been forced into an overcut due to, well, my own incompetence, I guess, for not turning on the track map. And as you can see, somehow I don't get a penalty. Literally at the time of driving I was facepalming myself for a stupid mistake, as get helped a little bit by the Renault of George, but I genuinely thought the game was glitched here and that I would have a 5-second penalty, but that it just didn't pop up. I was just so confused. I definitely sped in the pit lane, so I have no idea how I got away with this one. But also good is that I managed to get out in front of Simu and Bernardo, as I think OJD is stuck behind those two, so that means at least I won't get held up by any runners on the alternative strategy. But as you can see here, I basically fall back into an old habit of in career mode I had, where I would brake at the where the wall started on the pit entrance, and I thought I had learned to brake earlier, but clearly I fell back into my old habit, and somehow the game did not give me a penalty, and I didn't break my wing on George. So it really is a miracle that I got away without a penalty and without wing damage from this situation. Anyways, Pasty extended his stint all the way to the end of lap 16, and he has decided to go for mediums, and George as well, who pit the same lap, is also on mediums now in this train. So then coming on to lap 18, and it will be a huge fight between me and Pasty for the upcoming laps, trying to keep him behind as he goes for a move. I defend the inside, braking, and we make contact, and Pasty actually gets put into a half spin by me. And to be honest, looking back at this in hindsight, this was most definitely my fault actually, as we will go into the replay in a few moments. Quite close to losing DRS now actually, but we did manage to catch up again. But as you can see, Pasty sort of was ahead before the braking zone, and I didn't want to give up the position that easily. I wanted to use as little ERS as possible down the straight, because I knew it would be a very difficult battle for me to keep Pasty behind for the rest of the race. So I wanted to use minimal ERS, but I sort of underestimated the overspeed he had, or well, you could also say the distance to the braking zone. And to be honest, I just messed up there. That really was my fault. But due to well, the better tire compound, Pasty did manage to catch back up again. And as I skip on to lap 28, where I also got my 3-second time penalty, forgot to edit that in. But yeah, that means I will probably not fight extremely hard with Pasty anymore for the rest of the race. If he decides to make a move, then I will definitely let him go this time. So as you can see, it's just a pure DRS train, nothing really happens. As now also Pedro got his penalty, so if somehow Zach could do a mega job with, for instance, overtaking him right now. No, unfortunately he wasn't close enough. But what I was about to say, if Zach could overtake Pedro, then I might have a chance at, well, theoretically it would be 6th place then. But as you can see on the minimap, Pasty, yellow flags are called out, and those are for Pasty because he completely lost it on the traction there, and he is falling down the order. So that means I have absolutely no pressure from behind anymore, and I was saving my ERS the whole stint for basically one attack that I could do, and I was really struggling to get within 5 tenths, but this time I am 4 tenths away from Zach at the penultimate corner, so I decided to deploy all my ERS. Can we go down for a move down the inside? But no, it just wasn't close enough, and it would have been an absolute dive bomb if I had sent it on my teammate there. So thought better of it, but unfortunately that means that I expelled so much of my ERS for that single attempted move that I was just stuck behind Zach for basically the rest of the stint, as now Pedro completely loses it, and he was trying to overtake George on his very worn medium tires, but I'm pretty sure he actually didn't make contact and spun completely on his own. Anyway, skipping on to the final lap of the race, latest takes the victory. Our tires are completely shot, and I was kind of hoping that George would get a puncture. I was praying to the Codemaster's gods for the last few laps, but his medium tires held it all the way to the end, and he got a very good result out of the race, going from 9th to 4th place. So as always, congratulations to the podium and anyone who made up a lot of positions during the race. So realistically, the only way I could have finished higher than 6th place was if I did mess up the strategy, or if I qualified higher, because as you could see, it was just very difficult to overtake, and I think my setup was also not aggressive enough. I was really struggling to get within 5 or 6 tenths of the car head, and I only had one move or one attempt on Zach the whole race. So looking back at the incident regarding Pasty, I would like to make a Rocket League comparison here. I'm not sure how many of you play Rocket League, but if you have a teammate that's very unpredictable, then it really becomes very difficult to win the game. And in this case, I was the unpredictable teammate, as I didn't really give a clear signal, a clear body language to Pasty what my intent was. I was just trying to conserve my ERS too much, and going into the braking zone, I still went for a defense, although I'm pretty sure Pasty did not expect it. So once again, apologies to Pasty. I also apologize to him privately. But that is the race for us. Even though Zandvoort is quite an uneventful track, I think the race was still somewhat okay, somewhat watchable. And yeah, hopefully I won't get involved in many more incidents the upcoming 5 races of this season. But if you did enjoy the video, then I would massively appreciate it if you could hit the like button, and I would like to see you for the next one. Bye bye.